Hello everyone and welcome to yet another video. This time it will be a guide for ForteXorcist, which you can see this lovely bar and this lovely jubbly bar over here. Thank you for suggesting that. I do a guide on this on Facebook. Much appreciated. And it's nice because it's kind of got me using this add-on again as well. I used to use it before and then I stopped using it for some reason and now I have it back and it's awesome. I love it. So let's go on into actually doing some of the stuff. I have a couple of the things disabled, so I'm just going to quickly go over those. Basically it's the summon assistant and I think it's that health stone one, so let's just quickly enable those. Now basically these are for two reasons. Where's the other one hiding? Where'd the other one go? I enabled both of you. Or did I? Okay, apparently I didn't. I have no idea where it's hiding. It's hiding somewhere. Anyway, so basically you've got the summoning assistant, and you've got the health stone one as well. And this helps warlocks kind of keep track of if people have health stones, if they need health stones, if they have health stones and stuff like that. And the summoning assistant helps with summoning people. If I could just find it, that would be quite lovely. So I'm going to try and move it. I think let's try and make it like higher. Maybe make it more visible or something. Numlock helps. Interesting, it seems to have bugged out. That's covering it. Nope. No idea where it is. Doesn't matter. I tend to disable them anyway, because they're not really what I use this add-on for. And you've got this thing which kind of monitors some of your buffs, like Inner Fire. And generally it'll monitor a lot of the things on other people as well. I know that as a disciplined priest, when you crit, your crits kind of put an absorb effect on the person that lasts a little while. And that will track that, for example. And that can be kind of nice sometimes, especially if you're trying to like monitor HOTS on specific things. I'll be honest, I find it to be a bit spammy, but let's just quickly look at it. And get Healbot out of the way. And now basically what you can do is you can tell it a whole bunch of different things that you want it to track. The tooltips are there and it can be quite intuitive in some ways. You do need to kind of read through them. But one of the things I just wanted to do, if I could find it, was, there we go, maximum shown. And that's the thing, it can get really, really spammy. So I think 15's a bit high. I mean, if you've got this massive stack of them in the middle of a fight, you're not going to be able to read any of that. So maybe you want to turn that down to, say, 5. And that might make it a bit more manageable and make it just kind of make sense a lot more. Now this and the main bar share a lot of features, and the options with them are incredibly similar. In fact, all of the bars are. So I really want to move on to the main bar now, but bear in mind that a lot of that will apply to the other bars as well. But going on to the main bar, which is this one over here. Now, as you probably know, if you've used this add-on at all, you use your spell and you've got the cooldown there. And you've got the cooldowns of all kinds of different spells, and you've also got your lovely inner focus. And when that goes on cooldown, it basically monitors a whole bunch of your cooldowns, so you can make sure to use Prayer of Mending. Bam! Penance. Bam! All your cooldowns, really, really useful. I still use Tell Me When as well, though. I kind of like using them both because I find that ForteXorcist is very, very helpful in kind of knowing how long it is until something's ready, and looking at that slider bar can be really, really easy because you can just look down at that and see like 5 different things in like one spot as to how long that's going to be. And I like having Tell Me When there, just tracking all of the cooldowns that I haven't used as almost like a reminder saying, you haven't used these cooldowns, maybe you should. That's kind of one of the things that helps with my healing, for example. Now, if we move down here, you've got a whole bunch of different colors over here. So, for example, you've got the spell colors, the item colors, internal, hidden, health stone, resurrection timers, etc. So you can just untick it if you do not want it to track that. Maybe you don't want it to track your pet. Maybe you don't want it to track your health stone or your res timer or whatever. And you can untick that if you don't want it to track that. You can also change what color it is by using this color wheel. So you just kind of click and drag where you want it. Let's try and get it to roughly where it was. And if you want to increase kind of the darkness versus brightness, the darker you make it, like it'll get close to black when you go there. And if you make it lighter like that, then obviously it will get lighter. And if you want it to be white, you just put it right in the center there, and it will be white. And let's cancel that. So that's how you change the color of the things if you want to change them. And I think probably the main thing is really the frame size. Now you've got three different options here. You've got the bar width, you've got the icon size, and you've got the bar height. Now the icon size, I think, or by default, kind of matches your bar size in a way. So if we look at, I'm using Penance, it matches the bar. As you can see, it's like right up against the edges of that, and that's quite nice. But maybe you want the icon to be bigger or smaller than the bar, in which case you might want to tick the icon size thing and use that. Let's try using that again. It seems to be a little bit bigger. Let's try maybe turn that up to 50, and you can see that it changes quite a lot. So that's up to you if you want to change that. If you do change it and you find, oh no, I don't like what I've done with what I've changed, remember that you have these like little recycling kind of symbols over there, and you can click those right over here. You can click those to just reset it to default, and it'll even show you what it will be resetting it to. So now if you look at the bar width and bar height of mine is 400 width and 32 height. I practically doubled it in some ways, not quite doubled, but I made it quite a bit larger because I wanted it to be larger. If you want to make it insanely long or insanely wide, that's up to you. Not important. It's just you go with what you want, whatever works for you. You don't have to have it too small or too large. As long as you can see it and as long as it works for you, then it is good. And I want to also go over to frame appearance. Just click that and open that. You can change the bar text. Where was that? Oh, there we go. The bar font. If you hover over that, you get a whole bunch of different font options that you can choose if you want them. You also have the bar texture, which will change the texture of the bar. And the backdrop, I've never actually got to give me any options to change, which is a little bit weird, but it's not really that important. But I think, which one is this? Is it this one? Yeah, it's this main one. But if you change the color of it, you can see it changes like the texture, and you can make it look whatever feels comfortable with you. I like a lot of the default options that do make it a lot larger when I log in. And then of course you've got your time range. If it keeps monitoring, and especially on death nights, for example, ForteXorcist can get incredibly spammy because of how your runes work. So you'll have like 100,000 things up there saying that it's got a cooldown of this, and generally once things start getting spammy, they stop being useful. So you might want to set a minimum duration. So you might say like the minimum duration of 3 seconds, or a minimum remaining, or you might want to kind of change that and just go with whatever works for you. Same thing with maximum duration and maximum remaining. It can be kind of ridiculous if it's sitting there, for example, with like your well-fed buff, and you've got an hour left, and you've got this thing slowly moving across your bar, taking up space, and why is it even there? So you may want to change that. You know, I mean, what's the point of knowing something when it's got an hour to go? I mean, kind of. Not much point in that. So then I also want to move up here. Where was that? Specifics. There was that other bit that I really wanted to show. I can't find it on this one. Ah, there we go. The spell coloring and filtering. You can change the color here as well. But now with the customize, basically you choose the spell name you want to customize. And let's say, using the earlier example of well-fed, what you don't really want well-fed to show, maybe? I mean, you may or may not. This is just an example, but let's say you don't want well-fed to show. You just type in the name of the spell or the buff or whatever, and you hover over all, and you've got buff, debuff, or all other. I'm just going to leave it as all. It's not really important. And then on the second drop-down menu, you'll have none. You know, do nothing about this. Show, color and hide. So for this, because we don't want it to be there, you'll go with hide. If you want it to track something it's not tracking, you'll type in the name of the thing and click show, and color changes the color of it, and color and show does both. But for this, we'll say hide, and then we're done. And now it won't show the well-fed buff, which is pretty handy. And hopefully that will be nice and helpful for you. And I hope that this guide has helped you out, and I hope that you enjoy using ForteXorcist for a long time to come, because it's a great add-on, though it does need to be updated. If you're watching this add-on developer, go update it. It needs updating. I'm sure you have a very busy life, but go do it, because it's awesome and it deserves it. Thank you for watching, and cheerio.